The Boy Who Fixed Broken Things. In a small, dusty town named Riverbend lived a 19-year-old boy named Arjun. He was thin, with messy hair, and always carried a small screwdriver in his shirt pocket. People in the town didn't know much about him, except that he fixed things. Old radios, broken fans, lamps that wouldn't light, clocks that had stopped ticking. Arjun lived with his grandfather, Dadaji, in a tiny house near the railway tracks. His parents had died in an accident when he was 10, and Dadaji raised him with love, stories, and discipline. They didn't have much money, but Dadaji always said, "Arjun, we may be poor in our pockets, but we must be rich in our hearts and hands." Every morning, Arjun would walk down the narrow lanes of Riverbend with his small tool bag. People often called him Fix-It Arjun. His services were cheap, sometimes even free, especially for the elderly. One day, an old woman named Mira came to him with a broken radio. "This was my husband's," she said softly, her eyes wet. "He's gone now, but I used to listen to his favorite songs on this. It stopped working last month." Arjun took the radio gently and said, "I'll try my best, Mira auntie." He sat late into the night, carefully checking every wire, every screw. The radio was old, and dust had filled its tiny corners. He replaced some parts, cleaned others, and finally, click, the music played. He smiled. The sound was crackly but warm. When he returned the radio the next morning, Mira auntie burst into tears. "Thank you, Arjun. You didn't just fix a radio. You brought my memories back." Arjun felt a warm happiness in his chest. He had no idea that fixing a small radio could mean so much. But life in Riverbend was not easy. Arjun earned little money. Some days he could barely afford rice for both himself and Dadaji. He often skipped meals, saying he wasn't hungry. Dadaji knew but didn't say anything. Instead, he prayed every night for Arjun's success. One evening, Arjun returned home looking tired. He had just fixed an old fan for a shopkeeper who paid him in leftover vegetables. Dadaji looked at him and said, "Arjun, you work so hard, but you earn so little. Have you ever thought about starting your own repair shop?" Arjun smiled sadly. "I dream about it every day, Dadaji, but a shop needs money, and we don't even have enough to fix the roof when it rains." Dadaji nodded, then reached into his old wooden trunk and pulled out a small glass jar filled with coins. "I've been saving this for years. It's not much, but it's a start." Arjun's eyes filled with tears. "Dadaji, this is your savings." "No," Dadaji said. "This is our future." With that small amount, Arjun rented a broken wooden cart from a junkyard. It had 2 squeaky wheels and a crooked signboard. He painted it himself, using leftover paints from the school's art room. On the front, he wrote in big letters, "Arjun's repair cart, I fix what you love." He started setting up the cart near the town square. People slowly began to notice. A few brought in broken watches. Some came with lamps. Others brought old toys and mixers. Each time, Arjun listened carefully. He didn't just fix things. He asked about them. A toy bear that belonged to a child who passed away. A clock gifted by a father now lost. A blender used every morning to make a sick mother's smoothie. Arjun realized something. People don't just bring machines. They bring memories. One afternoon, while Arjun was fixing an old camera, a man in a suit stopped by. His name was Mr. Chatterjee, a businessman from the city visiting his hometown. "You fixed my sister's old heater," he said. "She told me about you. You're quite the hero here." Arjun laughed shyly. "I just fix things, sir." Mr. Chatterjee looked at the cart. "Why don't you grow this business? Set up a small shop, maybe? There are people like you needed in every city." Arjun looked down. "I want to, sir, but I don't have enough money or tools. I barely manage this cart." The businessman nodded. "If you ever decide to come to the city, let me know. People respect hard work there." That night, Arjun couldn't sleep. The city? A shop? Was it even possible? He looked at his hands, calloused, stained with grease and glue. He remembered what Dadaji always said, "These hands will build your future." Maybe it was time to believe it. But just as things started looking better, tragedy knocked again. One rainy morning, Dadaji slipped while climbing the stairs. He hurt his leg badly. Arjun rushed him to the local clinic. The doctor said, "He needs rest and proper treatment. That will cost money." Arjun felt a wave of fear. He had only a few rupees left, barely enough for medicine. He sold his tool bag to a secondhand shop and bought Dadaji the medicines he needed. For the next few days, he borrowed tools from a kind friend and still worked at the cart. One customer noticed the missing bag and asked, "What happened to your tools?" Arjun replied with a smile, "They're resting like my Dadaji." The customer quietly slipped 500 rupees into the donation box Arjun had kept on the side of his cart. That simple act started something unexpected. More and more people started helping. Some gave money, others gave old tools or parts. A retired teacher offered to help Arjun manage his accounts. For the first time, Arjun felt something amazing. He was not alone. Then came a special day. A local school invited Arjun to talk to their students about what he does. At first, he was nervous. He had never spoken in front of a crowd, but when he stood in front of the children and said, "I fix broken things," they clapped. He told them, "I started with nothing but a dream and a screwdriver. I may not be rich in money, but I am rich in love." One child raised his hand and asked, "What is the hardest thing you ever fixed?" Arjun smiled and replied, "My own fear." That night, as he sat beside Dadaji, feeding him soup, Dadaji whispered, "I'm proud of you, Arjun. You fix more than things. You fix lives." Arjun held his Dadaji's hand and replied, "Only because you taught me to." He didn't know what tomorrow would bring, but he had faith in his hands, in the people around him, and in his journey. The rains passed, and River Bend smelled fresh like new hope. Arjun's repair cart was now brighter, cleaner, and more popular than ever. People didn't just come to him with broken machines, they came with trust, respect, and even tears. His name became something special in the town. Dadaji slowly recovered. Though his legs were weak, his eyes sparkled with pride. Each morning, he sat near the window, sipping tea and watching Arjun leave with his tool bag. "Go fix the world, my boy," he would whisper. One morning, Arjun received a letter. It had a city address and a business card attached. It was from Mr. Chatterjee, the businessman he had met weeks ago. The note read, "Dear Arjun, if you're still dreaming big, I have a place for you in my company. Come to Kolkata. We'll talk about starting your own workshop. Your skills are rare. Let the world see them." Arjun stared at the letter for a long time. He showed it to Dadaji that evening. "What should I do, Dadaji?" he asked, voice shaky. Dadaji looked at him for a moment, then said, "Dreams are like clocks. You can't keep waiting forever. Go. I'll be okay." Arjun felt torn. He had never left Riverbend, but inside, something was calling him forward. 2 weeks later, Arjun boarded a train to Kolkata. Dadaji stood on the platform, waving with a soft smile, hiding his tears. The city was loud, fast, and full of faces. Arjun felt lost at first. But he remembered his grandfather's words, "When you don't know where to go, let your hands guide you." Mr. Chatterjee welcomed him warmly. He showed Arjun a small space in the back of one of his buildings, a garage, dusty and unused. "This is yours," he said. "Clean it up, turn it into your dream." Arjun worked day and night. He painted the walls, repaired broken shelves, and slowly filled the workshop with tools, some gifted, some secondhand. He put up a new sign, "The Fixer's Corner, where memories are repaired." In the city, things were different. People came with expensive machines, projectors, speakers, even small robots. Arjun didn't always know how to fix them, but he learned. He watched videos late at night. He read old manuals. He made mistakes, but he never gave up. He also hired 2 boys from a nearby slum, Raju and Samir, who were always looking through his window, curious. "You want to learn?" he asked them. Their eyes lit up. "Yes, Baya!" And so, Arjun began teaching them everything he knew. Months passed. The Fixer's Corner became known not just as a shop, but a place of second chances. A woman who brought in her father's broken hearing aid came back crying with joy. A child smiled when his toy robot walked again. A man hugged Arjun after hearing his wedding cassette play once more. Arjun realized fixing broken things gave people pieces of themselves back. Then came the biggest moment of all. A tech company held a competition, Young Innovators of India. They wanted stories of people using technology to change lives. Raju secretly submitted Arjun's story. 2 weeks later, a letter arrived. "Congratulations, Arjun Sharma. You are one of our top finalists. Please join us for the final round in Delhi. Bring your story." Arjun was shocked. He had never even thought of applying. But Dadaji called and said, "This is your moment. Take me with you, at least in your heart." In Delhi, Arjun stood on a stage, shaking slightly. He looked at the crowd and said, I'm not a scientist. I don't have big degrees. But I know one thing. When something is broken, it deserves a chance to work again. Just like people, I started with a screwdriver. Today, I have students, a shop, and hope. Not because I'm special, but because I chose to keep going when life was hard. The hall clapped. Some even stood. He didn't win the first prize, but he won something bigger: support, love, and a network of people who wanted to help him grow. A few months later, the Fixer's Corner expanded. Arjun opened two more branches, one in Riverbend, run by Samir, and one in the city, run by Raju. He now offered free training to poor youth. One day, a girl came to his shop with shaky hands. I want to fix things too, she said. Why? Arjun asked. Because I'm broken inside, she whispered. Arjun looked at her gently and said, then fixing others will help fix you too. It helped me. Back in Riverbend, Dadaji received a parcel. It was a photo frame with Arjun and his team. Below it, a note read, Dadaji, everything I built with the strength you gave me. From your floor to the world, thank you for believing in a boy with a screwdriver. Love, Arjun. Dadaji kissed the frame and whispered, my boy, you fixed the world. Not every hero wears a cape. Some carry tool bags, kindness, and courage. Arjun didn't wait for perfect conditions. He started where he was with what he had. Lesson: you don't need to be rich to make a difference. You just need willing hands and a strong heart.